Today, we're going to talk about the hidden reason that your legs feel weak, or you're doing your activities, you feel like you're not getting stronger, that your legs are weak. And why I want to discuss this is 5 different patients with knee problems all had this underlying component of their knee issue. So that is an unusual amount. And so that is a message for me to talk about this here, because in general, yes, the knee is affected by the hip, the core, the ankle, because it works in tandem with all of these parts. But what I've found for the current clients that have seen me is there's an element underlying the weakness that's creating the muscular imbalance that is that hidden limitation, and that's creating weakness. So if they didn't work on it, then you could expect them to get weaker and weaker over time. And we're here to make your body resilient, so that's not going to do. That's not going to do. So let's talk about it. Out of these 5 different patients, they had various amounts of tightness versus weakness in the legs. But a contributing factor to that was their spine. These are our nerves that come out from the spine. So if we have compression of the disc, or we have a rotation, which is what is kind of the combination of one of these nerves, when it comes out here, if we pinch it, basically we're either going to create tone, or we're going to have pain or weakness in the muscles in the lower extremity. With all of those patients, they had a component where we have to build their core so they have a distraction of those elements in the spine that allows the nerves to go and supply so you can contract your muscles. And a lot of them had a rotation in the pelvis that is creating that compression in the spine. So for instance, one of my patients plays pickleball, and before her league, she was saying, I'm feeling stiff, overall I'm better, but today I'm feeling stiff in the knee. And I said, well, did you do your TFL release? She said, no, I didn't do that today. And so I gave her my ball. She went and did it. And then all of a sudden her knee bent better. It was less stiff. She was able to activate her muscles. So how that worked for her, right, is that the TFL here is an internal rotator in a hip flexor. So it basically sticks you in this position. Here, let me do it. So it would bring you forward and in, okay? So if I were to do that from the back, right, forward and in, can you see how that kind of squished my back there, right? Let me do it again for you. So I'm going to go forward and in, and that's how that muscle pulls me. Can you see how that would compress right there on that nerve? So that's going to affect that lower extremity. Okay, so for her, it was creating that rotation. Same thing with another person. She stopped doing that, and then she was having pain when she went bent forward and up. And that's what happens. That's why a lot of people, when they try to do yoga, right, they say, oh, I get injured in yoga. Well, if the class doesn't kind of work on your hips first to de-rotate any rotations, then you're going to feel it in the back, or you're going to feel it in your legs. So the problem with it is sometimes it shows up in your back, sometimes it shows up in your legs, and it's important to know what you need. Now, there are a lot of muscles that can create that rotation in the pelvis, and even in the upper back, we can create a rotation below, right? So if I go in my upper back, I can create a rotation below. So the first step is always to derotate the pelvis, so get that evened out, and then we need to work on our core. Now, what core activation exercises you choose are going to be based on what you need. So a lot of these clients needed stability. So they needed a neutral spine. So instead, if I think about it, that's where my pelvis is nice and even, and my back has a slight curve, but not a huge curve, right? Some people then need to add on a certain direction, right? And same thing with the glutes. Sometimes it needs one direction or the other. So that's the key to making sure that your nerves are not being compressed and stopping you from getting more muscle activation and strength when you're doing your squats and your deadlifts and all your exercises at the gym or in whatever class you're taking if you like those classes. This is really, really relevant. It was actually the reason my old dance injury, this was the reason. I had a rotation in my pelvis, my core was weak, and that was the first thing that I found that really, really helped me start actually getting stronger and feeling better. You have to train the body to work together the way it needs to do those functional movements. So anyway, I hope that helps you think a little bit differently about your training for your activities. Please say hi, share this video with someone that might benefit from it, and have a great and strong day. Bye.